Did you know that according to a 2007 Space Review article by aerospace consultant Dr. Mary Line Dittmar, the average American believes that NASA receives 24% of the national budget. NASA doesn't actually get that much. It gets around 0.5%. With so many Americans believing that NASA gets so much, it's no surprise that so many Americans ask, why are we funding this agency so much when we already have so many problems right here on Earth? Well, I'm here to tell you that not only does NASA deserve its budget, but it should be funded even more because it helps us in many ways, including the economy. It provides information and data that's crucial to our lives for free, and technologies developed by the agency eventually come to serve us right here on Earth. Now, hopefully by talking about this topic today, you will have a greater appreciation for what NASA has to offer for our nation and for you. And hopefully you will support legislation to increase its funding. Now, I have personally followed the progress of the agency for many years now, and I personally know a few NASA employees, so I am very well aware of this topic. Now, today I will be talking about how NASA helps our nation in the economy, that's financially speaking, how the data and information that offers the public for free helps us, and how offshoot technology eventually comes to help us right here on Earth. Now let's get started by taking a closer look at what NASA has to offer regarding the economy. NASA costs our nation $20.7 billion annually. And that may seem like a lot, but that money is well spent. For starters, NASA contributes immensely to the GNP. The GNP is a measure of an entire nation's products and services produced in a year. And NASA, as an organization that manufactures things that are worth more than the sum of its parts, contributes immensely to that GNP. According to a 1980 study led by Midwest Research Institute and published by Jerome Schnee from Rutgers University Business and Administration Department, every dollar spent in NASA returns $7 to the GNP over a period of 18 years. But NASA is also about people, a lot of them. NASA has around 17,000 employees, but even that isn't enough for its project. So NASA partners with other organizations in order to achieve their goals, and that brings many more jobs to the table. According to a 2010 article by Karen Hanner, NASA Ames Research from NASA Ames Research Center, her center had 2,300 employees working for NASA, but it supported over 8,400 jobs in the form of partners. And speaking of the private sector, NASA also hires many other companies to help its projects and what it has to build. For example, in 2014, SpaceX was contracted to build a human-rated capsule to send Americans to the space station, which, as a matter of fact, it happens to be launching tomorrow at 1:30, so stay tuned for that. But there are some things NASA has to offer that the private sector simply cannot. NASA, as a government agency, provides a lot of its information and data for free to the public. A great example of this is SMAP. SMAP is an Earth-orbiting satellite that measures soil moisture right here on Earth. And it covers the entire Earth's surface in 2 to 3 days, and NASA makes its soil moisture information available to the public for free of charge online. And according to JPL's SMAP info page by Public Engagement Manager Susan Callery in 2010, this SMAP satellite helped forecast weather, prevent droughts, and increase agricultural productivity. Another great example of a useful satellite is the GRACE satellite. According to a 2016 article by senior climate scientist Brenda Erkwurzel, I hope I'm saying that right, published for the Union of Concerned Scientists, this GRACE satellite has helped fight global warming. This satellite measures land masses on Earth and how those change, and so climate scientists use this in the Arctic to figure out how much ice is melting, how quickly it is, and it helps those scientists combat climate change. But NASA also has information regarding education. For example, its website has thousands of resources of educational material ranging from elementary level to graduate level papers in the form of engineering documents and advanced studies. However, even physical hardware from NASA eventually comes to serve us right here on Earth. Which brings me to my last topic, offshoot technology. Technology that was once used for the space age to launch 1,000-pound rockets to other planets eventually comes to serve us right here on Earth. The first example of this is the space blanket. The space blanket is a thin sheet of aluminum foil covered in a thin sheet of plastic that's really useful for insulation. At first, it was used to insulate spacecrafts from extreme temperatures while in space, but today it's used to treat victims of severe hypothermia and warm up marathon runners after their race. According to energy consultant Christopher McFadden, as he details in his article 23 NASA Spin-off Technologies, published by Interesting Engineering in 2018, NASA offshoot technologies have helped the development of cloud computing, thermal insulating foam, hearing aids, and scratch-resistant glass. All of these technologies, which were once considered space age, come here back to Earth to improve our day-to-day lives or just help save lives. And according to NASA's Technology Transfer Program executive Daniel Lockney, in his 2019 Wired article, the NASA's future mission to send little helicopter drones to Mars will eventually help us back here on Earth in the area of material sciences. He explains that just as NASA has helped contribute to CPR devices, this will eventually help us here on Earth in the area of material sciences. The materials used for this project will eventually help create structures which are more resistant to earthquakes and wildfires. In conclusion, NASA is a worthy investment, and you should support funding it further because it is beneficial in a multitude of ways. I started by talking about the economic impact that NASA has, that being a very positive one. I talked about how data made public by NASA helps us here on Earth, and how technology that was once used for space-age spacecrafts comes to help us in our day-to-day lives right here on Earth. Considering this, isn't it obvious that NASA has earned its dollar? Thank you so much for your time.